Have you ever sat quietly with your morning cup of tea or coffee, watching the sun rise and thinking, where did the years go? It's a moment many of us over 75 find ourselves having. The body slows down, sure. The knees creak a little louder. But the spirit, that spark inside, still feels young. And that's what matters most. Because you're not done living. Not by a long shot. In fact, you're just getting started on a new kind of journey. One where taking control of your health can add not just years to your life, but life to your years. Now, I know conversations about health after 75 can be a little heavy. You might be hearing more often about friends or neighbors getting sick or passing away. And maybe, if we're being honest, you've caught yourself wondering if there's anything you can really do about it. But here's the thing most people don't tell you. The vast majority of health issues that lead to serious trouble, even death, after 75 come down to just a few common causes. And that's powerful knowledge. Because if we know what's causing the problem, we can do something about it. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. No doom and gloom. No scare tactics. Just honest, straightforward informations about the 5 most common reasons people pass away after 75. And more importantly, what you can do to avoid them. You have more power than you think, and it's never too late to start taking small steps that protect your health and help you feel more alive every single day. So let's dive in and talk about the first major cause, and it's one you've probably heard about all your life: heart disease. Yep, the good old ticker. It's responsible for nearly 1/3 of deaths in older adults. But here's the surprise. It's not just about cholesterol or blood pressure. It's also about how you live your daily life. How much you move, how you eat, how you manage stress, and even how connected you feel to other people. Let's start with movement. I'm not saying you need to start running marathons at 75, but gentle, regular movement, like walking for 20 minutes a day, stretching, even doing chair exercises, can strengthen your heart, improve circulation, and lower blood pressure. It doesn't need to be intense. It just needs to be consistent. The heart loves a good routine, and your body will reward you for it, often within weeks. Now, food. You've probably heard all about low-sodium diets and heart-healthy fats, but sometimes it helps to think simpler. Think of every meal as a chance to help or hurt your heart. Leafy greens like spinach and kale, berries, oats, and even a bit of dark chocolate. They all love your heart. On the other hand, processed meats, deep-fried foods, and sugary snacks, not so much. And I get it. Those salty chips or sweet pastries can be tempting. But when you remember that you're feeding the engine that keeps everything else running, suddenly that fresh apple or handful of nuts starts to look pretty good. And then, of course, there's stress. You might think stress is just something you dealt with when you were younger, raising kids, working long hours, paying off the mortgage. But even in retirement, stress sneaks in. Maybe it's loneliness, health worries, or family concerns. And chronic stress can be just as hard on your heart as any physical factor. That's why doing something calming every day, whether it's prayer, reading, gardening, or even sitting quietly and watching the birds, can actually be a form of medicine. It lowers your cortisol, helps your blood vessels relax, and keeps your heart beating strong. Let's not forget connection. Isolation can be a hidden danger, especially in older age. Did you know loneliness can raise your risk of heart disease just like smoking or obesity? Having people to talk to, even if it's just a weekly phone call, a visit with a neighbor, or chatting with others at your local senior center, keeps your heart and soul healthy. So if we're looking at heart disease and thinking, that's what gets a lot of folks after 75, we can also turn around and say, here's what I'm doing to keep that from happening to me. Walking a little each day, choosing heart-loving foods, making time for peace and laughter, staying in touch with the people who matter. That's a powerful way to take back control. Now let's shift gears to another big one: strokes. It's often tied to heart issues, but it deserves its own spotlight. A stroke can happen suddenly without warning, and yet most strokes are preventable. That's the part many people don't realize. High blood pressure is the biggest culprit. It quietly damages your arteries over time, and then, one day, bam, a clot or a bleed causes a stroke. But again, this isn't about scaring you. It's about showing you that you have tools right now to lower that risk. First, keeping blood pressure in check. If you're on medication, take it exactly as prescribed. Don't skip it just because you feel okay. Blood pressure is sneaky. It can be high without any symptoms at all. And if you're not on medication, regular checkups with your doctor are crucial. You can even monitor your blood pressure at home with a simple cuff. The goal isn't perfection, it's awareness. Now let's talk hydration. Did you know that dehydration can actually raise your risk of stroke? Especially as we age, the body's thirst signals get weaker. You might not feel thirsty even when your body really needs water. Try to sip throughout the day, especially in the morning, after naps, or after being outside. Even mild dehydration can thicken the blood slightly, making clots more likely. And just like with the heart, diet plays a huge role. Potassium-rich foods like bananas, sweet potatoes, and beans help keep your blood vessels flexible and healthy. Omega-3s from fish like salmon or sardines can help reduce inflammation. And cutting back on processed foods, especially those with lots of sodium, can work wonders for your blood pressure. You may also want to keep an eye on atrial fibrillation, or AFib. It's an irregular heartbeat that becomes more common as we age and greatly increases stroke risk. If you ever notice your heart fluttering, skipping, or beating oddly, even just for a few minutes, don't ignore it. Get it checked out. It might be nothing. But if it is AFib, managing it early can save your life. And I want to mention something else. Something simple, but often forgotten. Sleep. Quality sleep helps regulate blood pressure, supports heart health, and gives your body time to repair itself. If you're tossing and turning all night or waking up feeling exhausted, it's worth talking to your doctor. Sleep isn't a luxury, it's a necessity, especially now. Everything we've talked about so far, movement, nutrition, hydration, stress, connection, sleep, these aren't just good habits. They're shields. Shields that protect you from two of the biggest causes of death after 75, heart disease and stroke. And while it's true that these issues are common, it's also true that they are beatable. Every time you take a walk instead of watching another hour of TV, or choose a bowl of fruit over a slice of cake, you're adding strength to your shield. And it doesn't have to be perfect. No one expects that. You don't have to change your whole life overnight, but even small changes, repeated consistently, can create powerful results. Just imagine the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're doing what you can to protect your health. Not just for yourself, but for the people who love you and want to see you around for many more birthdays, holidays, and everyday moments. Let's keep going because there's more to explore together. You've already taken the first step by being here, listening, and learning. And that tells me something important. You care. You're willing to grow. And that means you're already ahead of the curve. Now that we've talked about the heart and strokes, let's move into something just as important. Something that tends to creep up on people without much warning. And yet it quietly plays a huge role in so many health issues. Respiratory problems. Breathing is one of those things we take for granted, until we can't. Whether it's chronic conditions like COPD, frequent lung infections, or even complications from the common cold or flu, your lungs are doing a lot more work than you might realize, especially as we age. You might notice that climbing stairs leaves you more winded than before, or that it takes longer to recover after a cold. These aren't just signs of getting older. They could be your lungs asking for a little extra help. One of the biggest challenges as we get older is that our lungs naturally lose some of their elasticity. That means they don't expand and contract quite as easily, making it harder to take in deep breaths. Mucus tends to build up more, and our coughing reflex isn't as strong, which can make it harder to clear out irritants. All of this makes older adults more vulnerable to respiratory infections, which in turn can lead to hospitalizations or worse. But here's where the good news comes in. You can absolutely strengthen and support your lungs, even in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. It all starts with breathing itself. Deep, intentional breathing isn't just calming. It's also one of the best exercises for your lungs. Taking time each day to sit quietly and breathe in slowly through your nose, hold for a few seconds, and then exhale gently through your mouth can help expand your lungs, clear out stale air, and improve oxygen flow. If you've never tried breathing exercises before, give it a go for just 5 minutes a day. You might be surprised at how much clearer and calmer you feel afterward. It's like giving your lungs a stretch and a sigh of relief all at once. Now, let's talk about your environment. As much as possible, try to keep your air clean. If you smoke, or if anyone smokes in your home, please know that it's never too late to quit or create a smoke-free space. Your lungs will thank you almost immediately. Avoiding dusty areas, using an air purifier, and staying away from strong chemical cleaners can also go a long way toward protecting your respiratory health. Staying active also helps. You don't need to go jogging or take on anything extreme, but even light exercise like walking, Tai Chi, or gardening gets your lungs working. When you move your body, you breathe deeper. And that movement encourages better lung capacity and oxygen flow throughout your system. It's one of the most natural ways to keep your lungs in shape. Now here's something that many people overlook: vaccinations. As we get older, the flu, pneumonia, and even COVID-19 can hit harder and faster. What might be a mild illness for a younger person can turn into a serious, even life-threatening situation for someone over 75. That's why staying up to date on vaccines is so important. It's not just about avoiding the virus. It's about preventing complications that can land you in the hospital. Talk with your doctor about what you're due for. It's a small effort that makes a big difference. And if you already have a lung condition like asthma or COPD, staying on top of your medication and using inhalers exactly as prescribed can help you breathe easier and avoid flare-ups. Always check in with your healthcare provider if something feels off. Don't wait. Early action is often what keeps a minor problem from turning into a major one. Let's move on now to something that's just as serious, yet even more overlooked: infections. At our age, the immune system just doesn't work the way it did when we were younger. That means things like urinary tract infections, skin infections, or even a small cut that gets infected can escalate quickly. And when those infections aren't caught early, they can lead to serious complications like sepsis, an overwhelming immune response that's one of the top causes of death in older adults. But again, there are ways to protect yourself. It starts with listening to your body. If you notice unusual fatigue, confusion, a change in how you feel, don't shrug it off. Sometimes infections in older adults don't show up the same way they do in younger people. You might not get a high fever. You might just feel off. If something doesn't feel right, it's worth checking out. Good hygiene is also a powerful line of defense. Washing your hands regularly, especially before eating or after going out, helps prevent the spread of germs. If you have a wound or scrape, keep it clean and covered until it's fully healed. And if you notice swelling, redness, or warmth around an area, get it checked sooner rather than later. Hydration plays a surprisingly big role here too. When you're well hydrated, your body can flush out bacteria more effectively. This is especially important for preventing things like urinary tract infections. A simple habit like drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning can go a long way toward keeping your system clean and functioning well. And don't forget about nutrition. Certain foods, especially those rich in vitamin C, zinc, and antioxidants, help support your immune system naturally. Think oranges, bell peppers, nuts, seeds, and leafy greens. It's not about fancy supplements. It's about giving your body what it needs through the food you eat every day. And finally, if you ever do start an antibiotic for an infection, make sure you take the full course exactly as prescribed. Stopping early, even if you feel better, can allow the infection to come back stronger. Completing the treatment is your way of saying, "I'm not letting this come back to bite me later." At this point, you're probably realizing something powerful. Staying healthy after 75 isn't about luck. It's about small, consistent choices. The kind you can start making today, right now even. You don't need to overhaul your life. Just drink that extra glass of water. Call your doctor for a checkup. Step outside and take a walk. These are the quiet actions that add up over time. You're not helpless. You're not fragile. In fact, you're wiser now than you've ever been. You know how precious time is. You've learned how to handle tough times. And now, you have the opportunity to use all that wisdom to take care of the one body you've got. You deserve to breathe easy, to move freely, to enjoy your days without fear or discomfort. And you absolutely can. Let's keep this momentum going and explore the next vital piece of this journey to a healthier, stronger you. You know, something many people don't talk about enough, but has a huge impact on our well-being, is the risk of falling. At first glance, a fall might seem like just a stumble, a bruise, or a little embarrassment. But after 75, a fall can be life-altering. It's one of the leading causes of injury and even death in older adults. And it's not just the fall itself, it's what happens afterward. Fractures, surgeries, long recovery times, and sometimes a loss of independence. What's tough is that many people don't see it coming. Maybe you're walking through the kitchen, reach for something, and the rug shifts under your feet. Or you're stepping out of bed in the middle of the night, and your foot catches on a shoe. 1 second you're fine, and the next, everything changes. But here's the thing. Falls aren't just a normal part of aging. They're preventable. And when we take the time to think ahead, we can protect ourselves in powerful ways. Let's start with balance. It naturally gets weaker over time, especially if we don't work on it. The good news: you can actually train your balance just like you'd train a muscle. A simple habit like standing on one foot while brushing your teeth, holding on to the counter if you need to, can wake up those stabilizing muscles in your legs and core. Or try shifting your weight from side to side slowly while standing. Little movements, done regularly, can improve your stability without needing any fancy equipment. Your environment matters too. Take a look around your home. Are there loose rugs, low furniture, or dark hallways? You don't need to redesign your whole space. Just clearing the clutter, adding a few nightlights, and securing rugs with grip pads can make a world of difference. Think of your home as your wellness zone. It should support you, not trip you up. Shoes are another big one. Wearing soft, unsupportive slippers around the house might feel cozy, but they can throw off your footing. Go for shoes with non-slip soles, good arch support, and a secure fit. You want footwear that helps you stay grounded, literally. And don't forget about your legs. Strong legs are your best defense against falls. They're what catch you when you trip, help you rise from a chair, and keep you steady on uneven ground. Gentle exercises like leg lifts, seated marches, or even just standing up and sitting down from a chair several times in a row can help build those muscles. You don't have to join a gym. You just have to move consistently. Now let's talk about something that often goes hand in hand with falls: bone health. As we age, our bones become more fragile, and that's especially true for women. Conditions like osteoporosis can weaken bones to the point where even a minor slip results in a fracture. And the trouble is, you often don't feel it happening. There are no warning signs until something breaks. That's why it's important to be proactive. If you haven't had a bone density scan, it's worth asking your doctor. Knowing where you stand gives you the power to act early. Calcium and vitamin D are essential here. Calcium for bone strength and vitamin D to help your body absorb it. You can get calcium from foods like dairy, leafy greens, and almonds. And for vitamin D, a little time in the sun. Just 10-15 minutes, a few times a week, can make a big difference. Some folks need a supplement, especially in the winter or if they don't get outside much. So that's another conversation to have with your doctor. Weight-bearing exercises also help. You don't have to lift heavy weights. Even walking, dancing, or using resistance bands can help your bones stay strong. The idea is to give your bones a reason to stay dense and solid, because they respond to pressure, to movement. The more you use them, the more they support you. Sleep plays a surprising role in all this too. When we're sleep deprived, we're more likely to feel dizzy or disoriented, and that increases the risk of falling. Sleep is when your body repairs itself. It's when your bones and muscles do their healing work. So, creating a sleep-friendly routine isn't just about feeling rested. It's a foundation for your safety and strength. Speaking of routines, one that's often overlooked is regular eye checkups. Vision changes can sneak up gradually, and you might not even notice how much harder it's become to see clearly, especially in low light. But when your depth perception or peripheral vision starts to shift, your chances of misjudging a step or tripping over something skyrocket. A new pair of glasses, a change in prescription, or even just cleaning your lenses more often can be the difference between a safe step and a serious fall. And while we're on the subject of staying steady, hydration can't be ignored. Dehydration can lead to dizziness, confusion, and weakness, all of which increase your fall risk. It's easy to forget to drink water, especially when you're not feeling thirsty. But sipping throughout the day helps keep your blood pressure stable and your body functioning the way it should. Keep a bottle of water nearby, flavor it with a slice of lemon or cucumber if plain water doesn't appeal to you, and take small sips regularly. All of these habits, keeping your space safe, strengthening your legs, checking your eyes, staying hydrated, work together to keep you upright, confident, and in control of your movement. They may sound simple, but they're powerful, because staying strong and steady means you're staying independent. It means you're not waiting for someone to catch you. You're catching yourself. And here's something else that's worth remembering. None of this is about fear. It's about freedom. When you take steps to prevent falls, you're not limiting yourself. You're opening the door to do more, go farther, and live with greater peace of mind. You're saying, "Yes, I've got this. I'm not just surviving, I'm thriving." You've come this far. You've weathered storms, raised families, built lives full of memories. Now you deserve to enjoy these years with strength and dignity. And avoiding falls is one of the smartest, most loving things you can do for yourself. So, as we keep going, let's hold on to that sense of determination and care. There's still one more critical area we need to explore, one that affects the mind, the heart, and even the soul. Let's keep walking this path together, step by steady step. You know, one thing that often gets overlooked, but quietly chips away at our well-being, is loneliness. Not the kind where you enjoy some peace and quiet, but that deep, aching kind of loneliness that feels like the days are too long and the silence is just too loud. It can sneak up on you, especially after 75, when the phone rings less, friends move away or pass on, and routines that used to keep you busy start to fade. And here's the thing. Loneliness doesn't just affect how we feel, it affects how we live. Studies show that chronic loneliness can be just as harmful to your health as smoking or obesity. It raises the risk of heart disease, weakens your immune system, increases inflammation, and even speeds up memory loss. That's because we're wired for connection. Human beings need each other at every age. But here's the beautiful part. It's never too late to reconnect. And connection doesn't have to mean big social gatherings or loud rooms full of strangers. It can be something as simple as chatting with your neighbor while watering the plants, calling an old friend just to say hello, or joining a small group at your local community center. Sometimes we convince ourselves that we're too old to make new friends, that people have already found their circles and there's no room for us anymore. But the truth is, so many people feel the exact same way. Quietly wishing someone would reach out, start a conversation, say, "Hey, I'd love to have a coffee sometime." You could be that spark for someone else. Volunteering is another powerful way to build connection. Maybe you've got a skill to share, a story to tell, or just a listening ear to offer. Whether it's reading to children at the library, helping at a food pantry, or mentoring someone younger, you're not just giving your time, you're gaining purpose. And purpose is powerful. It gives you a reason to get out of bed with energy and intention. Pets can be incredible companions too. If you've ever had a dog or a cat curl up beside you, you know the comfort they bring. They keep you on a schedule, get you moving, and offer that warm, wordless kind of love that's hard to beat. Of course, they're a responsibility, and they may not be right for everyone, but if you're able, they can bring a lot of light into your life. And don't forget the small things. A smile to someone at the grocery store. A thank you to the mail carrier. These little exchanges add up. They remind you, and others, that you're seen, valued, and part of something larger. Technology can also be a bridge, not a barrier, if you're comfortable with it. Tools like video calls, social media, or even voice messages can help you stay in touch with loved ones near and far. And if you're not quite there yet, ask for help. Your grandkids would probably love to show you how to make a video call or send a picture. That simple step could open up a whole new world of connection. Even joining a book club, a walking group, or a fitness class, whether in person or online, can make a big difference. It's about finding your people, in whatever form feels comfortable. You don't have to be the life of the party. You just need to find the spaces where you feel seen and heard. There's also great strength in nurturing your relationship with yourself. Taking time to journal, meditate, or simply sit quietly with a cup of tea, and your thoughts can bring peace. Being alone doesn't have to mean being lonely. But when you do feel that longing for connection, and we all do from time to time, reach out. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. Our hearts are like gardens. They need care, nourishment, and a little sunlight every day. When we isolate ourselves, we're cutting off that light. But when we open up, even just a little, we make space for joy, laughter, and new memories to grow. And let's be honest, life after 75 is full of changes. Some are hard. We may lose people we love. We may slow down, but we're still here. We're still capable of connection, of kindness, of growth. Sometimes just saying yes to an invitation, even when you're tempted to stay in, can lead to a wonderful moment. A smile, a laugh, a reminder that we're not alone, because we're not. Even if it feels like it sometimes, there are people who care, who are walking the same road, looking for the same light. And when we step toward each other, when we make that little effort, it creates a ripple. It lifts us up. So let's not let loneliness be one of the silent dangers that sneak up on us. Let's stay open. Let's stay curious. Let's keep our hearts warm and our spirits connected. You've got so much wisdom, so much life still ahead of you. And by building and nurturing meaningful connections, you're not just avoiding one of the top causes of decline, you're embracing one of the most beautiful parts of being human. Now there's one more critical piece we haven't talked about yet, and that's nutrition. What we put into our bodies, especially after 75, has the power to heal us or harm us. It's not about dieting or counting every calorie. At this stage in life, it's about nourishment, about feeding our bodies what they need so they can keep supporting us every step of the way. You know, it's funny how we sometimes think eating healthy means boring meals or tasteless food. But in reality, food can be both healing and delicious. It's just about knowing what fuels your body well and what quietly drains it. Because believe it or not, poor nutrition is one of the top reasons many people see their health spiral in their later years. Not because they don't care, but because they've been told they're too old to make changes, or it's too late to start. Let me be clear. It is never too late. Your body is still listening to you. Every bite you take is information. It's either helping your joints stay limber, your brain stay sharp, your muscles stay strong, or it's doing the opposite. And once you understand that, you start to see food differently. It becomes a form of self-care, not a chore. For example, let's talk about protein. After 75, many people unknowingly eat too little of it. And yet, it's one of the most important nutrients for keeping your muscles strong, which is essential for balance, walking, getting out of bed, and living independently. Adding things like eggs, fish, yogurt, beans, or even a protein smoothie to your daily routine can help you feel stronger and more energized. Then there's fiber, a quiet little superhero that keeps things moving smoothly in your digestive system and supports heart health. Fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes are wonderful sources. And if you've ever struggled with constipation, you know how important this is. A bowl of oatmeal in the morning or a handful of berries on your yogurt can go a long way. Hydration is another area where we tend to fall short as we age. The thirst reflex weakens, so you might not feel thirsty, but your body still needs water. Dehydration can lead to fatigue, confusion, low blood pressure, and even falls. Try keeping a glass of water nearby throughout the day. Herbal teas and broths count too. Just a few sips every hour makes a big difference. And don't forget healthy fats. Omega-3s, found in foods like salmon, walnuts, and flax seeds, support brain function and reduce inflammation. They can help protect against memory loss and joint pain, two things many people worry about as the years go by. Even something as simple as drizzling a bit of olive oil over your vegetables adds flavor and health benefits. Now we all have our comfort foods, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying them now and then, but try not to rely too much on ultra-processed snacks, sugary treats, or salty convenience foods. They may be easy, but they rob your body of the nutrients it needs, and sometimes even create more inflammation and fatigue in the long run. And here's a little secret. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight. Start small. Maybe add one more vegetable to your plate at dinner. Switch from white bread to whole grain. Use herbs and spices instead of too much salt. These little changes are like seeds. You plant them, and over time, they grow into habits that support your health, energy, and longevity. Cooking can be part of your self-care too. If standing in the kitchen for long periods feels hard, try preparing things in batches. Soups, stews, and roasted vegetables are easy to make and store. If you have a slow cooker, use it. Let it do the work for you. And if chopping vegetables is tough on your hands, don't hesitate to buy pre-cut or frozen ones. They're just as nutritious. Even grocery shopping can be a form of movement and engagement. Bring a list so you stay focused. Ask for help when needed, and take it at your own pace. Or if getting out is difficult, consider using grocery delivery services or asking a family member to help. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency and intention. And let's not forget the joy of sharing meals. If you can, eat with someone, a friend, a neighbor, a loved one. Meals are about more than just fuel. They're about connection. They're a time to pause, enjoy, and nourish not just your body, but your soul. Food is love. Food is healing. Food is freedom. And by making thoughtful choices, you give yourself the best possible chance to keep doing the things you love. Whether that's walking in the park, dancing in the kitchen, or playing with your great-grandkids. So let this be a gentle reminder. Every bite matters. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be intentional. Because the power to feel good, to feel strong, to feel alive, even after 75, is right there on your plate. Let's take a moment to reflect on something that often gets overlooked in conversations about health. Your sense of purpose. I know, it might sound a little philosophical, but hear me out. After 75, staying healthy isn't just about taking the right vitamins, eating the right foods, or keeping your heart strong. It's also about having something to wake up for, a reason to move, to smile, to keep going. Because the truth is, the mind and body are deeply connected. And when the mind gives up, the body often follows. But when you're engaged, when you feel needed, when you feel like you matter, something powerful happens. Your body responds. Your energy lifts. Your immune system strengthens. Your spirit comes alive. Maybe that sense of purpose comes from caring for a pet, or tending to your garden, or being there for your grandchildren. Maybe it's volunteering, painting, writing, or joining a local walking group. It doesn't have to be anything grand or complicated, just something that brings you joy, even a little spark of it, every day. And don't let anyone tell you it's too late to start something new. Some people pick up new hobbies in their 80s and 90s, things they never had time for before, and they thrive. Not because they're lucky, but because they gave themselves permission to live fully, even in their later years. Now I know that some days are harder than others. Maybe your body doesn't move like it used to. Maybe you've lost people you love. Maybe you're facing challenges you never expected. But you are still here, still breathing, still capable of making choices, no matter how small, that shape your future. And here's the good news. The biggest changes often start with the tiniest steps. Taking a short walk around the block, choosing a glass of water over soda, laughing with a friend, stretching your legs in the morning. These things might seem small on the surface, but they add up. They build momentum. They remind your body that you're still in the game. One of the most powerful things you can do is to stay connected to people, to your passions, to your daily rituals. Loneliness, especially in older age, can take a heavy toll. But connection, that's your lifeline. Even a phone call, a shared cup of tea, or a kind word exchanged with a neighbor can lift your spirits and nourish your heart. So if you've been feeling a bit isolated, don't hesitate to reach out. Join a senior center, explore online groups with shared interests, or start something as simple as writing letters or journaling your thoughts. Your voice matters. Your story matters. And there are people who would be honored to hear it. And while we're talking about your story, don't underestimate the strength you've carried through the years. The wisdom, the resilience. You've made it through so much already, and you're still standing. That alone is proof that you are capable of continuing to thrive. Yes, after 75, there are risks. We've talked about the leading causes of death, and they are serious. But here's the part that doesn't get said enough. You are not powerless. You can take action. You can nourish your body, move it, calm your mind, feed your spirit, and stay connected to the world around you. Even if you've struggled in the past, even if you've had some health scares, even if things feel uncertain right now. The path forward is still yours to walk, one step at a time. And I want to thank you for taking that step today. Just by watching this video, you've shown that you care about your health, your future, and your happiness. That's something to be proud of, because many people don't take that step. But you did. If this message resonated with you, even just a little, I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me what changes you're thinking of making, or what you've already done that's helped you feel stronger. You never know, your words might inspire someone else, just like I hope mine have inspired you. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more amazing people like you. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've got more videos coming that are all about helping you live well, feel good, and age with confidence. But most of all, take this with you. Your age is not a limit. It's a badge of honor, a sign that you've lived, you've loved, and you've learned. And you still have so much to give, so much life left to enjoy. Here's to waking up with purpose, to nourishing your body and soul, to moving forward with strength, joy, and hope. Here's to living your best life at any age.